Hi, this is Kara McNall and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and today I'm going to show you how to make these cute little composition notebooks that you can give as teacher gifts or sell at craft fairs or any kind of gift for someone that you care about. So let's get started. First of all, you'll need to purchase these mini composition books, and I purchased these at a local store. And they come 80 sheets, and the size is 4.5 by 3.25. For the designer series paper, I have chosen the Naturally Eclectic designer series paper, and you'll need 2 sheets for the front cover and the back cover, and these are cut 3.5 by 5.5, and you'll need 2 sheets for the inside, and they are cut 3 1/8 by 4 1/4. You will also need a strip of the same designer series paper, and this is cut 1/2 inch by 4 3/4, which you'll cut down, and you'll need 2 of those. You will also need a piece of ribbon, and I've chosen the Peekaboo Peach color here. It's a crinkled seam binding. You'll also need 1 stamp, and I have chosen the sentiment "Life is a Beautiful Thing" from Colorful Seasons. You'll also need a piercing tool, which will come in handy, your snips, and especially the bone folder is very important in this process. And you'll also need a border punch. I know this one is retired. It's the scalloped ribbon border punch, but any kind of scallop, any kind of border punch will do, or just a strip of the DSP. I also did cut out, die cut the sentiment with the stitch squares here. And one last item will be the Project Life corner rounder. And for adhesive, you'll need something very strong, and I've chosen the tear and tape and also my regular adhesive. Okay, so the first step is going to be, I've done this ahead of time, and I've put the tear and tape along the sides and on the back side as well, and a little piece in the middle here. I did not do it on the inside because I think the regular adhesive works well if you do press with the bone folder very, very hard. So what we'll do first is just remove the strip here. I use the piercing tool because it's so much handier to do it that way. And just grab all those pieces off. Okay, so I have those removed. Now I'm going to take the larger piece, and I'm going to, first I'm just going to look at it and see what way I like it better. So I think I like it this way. So when I place this down, I'm placing it right up against the spine here. This spine will not be covered. I think it looks just fine as is. So I've got it lined up, and now I'm just going to press down. I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm just going to really press down hard. Okay, so now we'll do is flip it over, and we'll do the same process for the back side. And we got one more piece here. So I want to come up here. Okay, this one got stuck right there. Okay, all right, so we'll take our second piece, again line it up with a spine, about a 1/2 inch off the edge, and just use your bone folder to burnish it down. Okay, so the next step, you'll need your paper snips for this part. We'll open this up, and we're just going to cut down all 4 corners here, so when we fold it, we do not have a bunch of bulk. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my regular adhesive, it's over here, and I'm just going to put a little bit, well, I'm going to run it along all 3 sides. Actually, if I want to do this first, you want to cut angles. Make 3 angled cuts up, straight there, angled into the corner here, and then straight up. So let's put this down here. So I'm going to just fold that flap over, reapply some adhesive, and then put the other corner down and put some adhesive on it. And we'll just do the bottom. Okay, and now I like to go from the top and then the bottom. Then I bring in my bone folder again, and I just press these down really firmly. And then I bring over the edge, the side edge. And again, just press really hard. Then I take my paper snips again, and I'm going to take off this excess here, which we do not need. It just creates bulk, and we don't want bulk in the corners. Okay, so now let's do the same process for the front cover. Again, we'll take our paper snips, and we're just going to cut up here. 3 simple cuts. You don't have to go to the very edge. Add our adhesive. And then we'll bring in our corners here. A little adhesive. Add some more adhesive. Now our top, or this is actually our bottom. And then the top. Press them down. And then fold the side over. And then just remove the bulk. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over this one more time. Just to make sure it's really good and pressed. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do it on the front and the back side as well. Okay, so we've got the front and the back side done. So now we're going to work on the inside. So I'm going to take my Project Life corner rounder and I'm going to round the outer edges only. So on this one, this will be the back panel, and then of course we've got to make sure we do the opposite. This designer series paper doesn't matter because there's really no like right or wrong way. But if you had stripes or some kind of repeating pattern, you want to be careful which corner you round. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our adhesive, or we can decide, do we want it to look this way with the strip that we're going to add, this, or do we want to make it all the same and then flip it and make it with the blue? I kind of like that, so we're going to go with that choice. Just putting adhesive on all 4 sides, right close to the edge and a little bit in the middle. Now what I do is I pick the journal up and I put down the DSP flush to the spine and a 1/4 inch top and bottom, and then I just press it down lightly. Now is where I really press down hard with the bone folder, being careful not to poke through the paper there. Really want to get the corners. Alright, so now we're going to do the same process for the back side. Add our adhesive right close to the edge. And along the middle. And again, we're going to line it up, oops, with the spine, 1/4 inch top and bottom. Let it lay down, and now just use our bone folder to give a good press. Now, these corners right now are a little sharp. I don't know if you can see this, but we're going to smooth those down using your bone folder. So what I do is I just run it around until it gets smooth, and just pressing gently but firmly on all 4 sides. Okay, so just make sure those are good. Those work great. Okay, so now our next thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp. So actually, no, let's put our piece on here. So we're just going to add a little bit of adhesive. You don't have to add it on the whole entire strip, but you do want to make sure that you get it on the ends. So I line up one side here flush to the bottom here, and then it will overhang just a little bit on the top. So now I'm just going to press this down on the opposite side with the bone folder. Take my paper snips. I'm just going to trim off the excess. Okay. Now let's repeat that for the back side. Again, we're going to add adhesive to the back of this strip, just little small amounts. Should have used my silicone mat. Okay. Alright, and just press down firmly on the other side. Take our paper snips and we'll snip it off. Okay. Now for the stamping, I'm going to bring in, I'm using the stamp from the Colorful Seasons. It's photopolymer, so I'm going to need my piercing mat, piece of scrap paper. I'm going to use Peekaboo Peach today for our ink color. That's Peekaboo Peach in here, so I'm going to bring out that color. Just ink up. I've already die cut this, so hopefully I can get this straight. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put adhesive. Actually, we won't do that. We'll let that dry. We're going to add our ribbon. So I've got the crinkled peach, Peekaboo Peach seam binding, and I'm just going to create a knot here. Of course, I've got too much ribbon here, but that's okay. Just flip over and try to get a flat knot and just secure it tightly. And now I'm going to bring in my ribbon scissors, and I'm just going to snip off the excess. And if you want, you can rearrange where you want the bow. But first, before I do that, I'm going to add the sentiment. Just a little bit of adhesive on the back side. And I'm just going to, where do I want it? I'll put it right in the middle. And press down. And now with my ribbon, I'm going to just put it down towards the middle. If you want to put a glue dot on, you can. Just to secure the ribbon, I'll use my piercing tool. Just lift up the ribbon here and press down on the knot and release. So there we go. Oh, of course I did it upside down, but you get the idea. Let me show you some of the samples that I've made. This is a great project if you want to use up your DSP that you may have lying around. So I've got quite a bit of it, but I'll show you what I've created so far. I've got 14 of these made for a local craft fair. So these two are in the current catalog. However, all the other ones are all retired. Here I used the daisy punch to embellish and some retired ribbon there. Here's another one with some retired ribbon and DSP. And here I used the dragonfly thinlits to cut out. Here's just another generic one. This one I used copper embossing powder, and I thought it looked really nice, and it brought out the I think this is Cajun Craze. Here's another one. This is a ribbon that I got from my grandma's stash. And then this designer series paper is so beautiful. I have so much of it left over. Sometimes it's just good as is, and this is my grandma's ribbon again. Here I used a retired punch, but again my grandma's ribbon, and this was a little bit more of a white space, so I tried to fill it in with offsetting some basic black underneath. Again, here's some more with that beautiful paper and some of my grandma's ribbon. This one's just plain and simple. Here's another one with happy day, happy year, happy life. And lastly, 2 more, just life is a beautiful thing. So I hope this gives you some inspiration to craft. Like I said, I do sell these at craft fairs, so hopefully I gave you an idea of how you can promote Stampin' Up! And also promote your business. For all your Stampin' needs, please visit my website at inspiredbygram.com. Thanks for watching.